Okay, so let's spin around the back here and we'll finish up this part. So same thing here, we're just going to grab the main part and detach that back polygon. Okay, and we'll call this body back. Okay, we'll just detach it as a separate object, we don't need to do a clone again. Alright, so we'll put our blue material on that sucker. And we'll do Control I and hide select it. Okay, we'll switch our front view here to our back. Toggle our transparency, and this will be a little bit simpler than the front. Alright, so the first thing we'll do is go into vertex here, and we'll just connect up a couple of these verts. Let's do the bottom two. Connect those across. Make sure we turn our edges on with F4 so we can see something. And let's also maybe just connect maybe the next set and maybe even the next set. Okay, so just those three for now. Let's also maybe cut a couple up from the bottom. Alright, so go back to cut, turn our snaps on. And let's see, let's cut from maybe this top one down to the matching bottom one. Alright, and I think we'll just cut maybe a couple of these in here. I'm going to skip this second one for a second and go over to the third one down. And we'll cut that down to the bottom. Alright, and the location of this hole isn't ideal, obviously, because we need to have an edge right in the center both ways. So it is going to take some work for us to do. And I'm just wondering if I should cut this center vert down or if we should add a separate loop in here. Alright, let's maybe add another one right in between these two. Okay, so I'm just going to cut from that edge down to this edge. We'll try to get it straight. Right click. And we'll just connect that up to the bottom. Alright, so cut from that vert down to the bottom edge. And let's actually right click and turn off our snaps before we do that so we can actually get the edge here. Okay, so try to get that straight. Okay, and we're going to have to shuffle some stuff around here. Let's get our circle in here first. Okay, so draw that out right in the center. Something like that. Make it black. And we're just going to kind of line that up right here. Okay, and let's actually add maybe another ring right through the center here. Let's just clone this first over to the flash as a copy. Take the radius down a bit on this one. And we'll do maybe about 7.5 on this guy. And let's see what the radius is on this one. We'll do about maybe 18.5 on this one. Maybe a little bigger, let's do 19. Okay, so alright, let's just maybe add a vertical segment here. So reselect that mesh, back into edge, drag right through the edges and connect it up. And we only want to do one, not two. Okay, make planar on X and just slide that over. And once again, I'm going to turn on my edge constraints here. I'm going to move that over and line it up right in the center of the circle. Okay, we'll also do one side to side here, so just ring these edges. Another connect. And we'll just slightly move that up. Right about there. And let's also ring this way and connect. And I'm going to leave that probably, whoops, right about there, and we'll add another one right here. So let's do another ring and another connect. Move that slightly to the left, and one more down the center. Just drag through this. Connect make planar on X, and just move that over to the right side of that circle, right about there. And let's actually add one more right here. Position it right about there, and then we're going to actually loop this edge. And I'm just going to remove, I'm not going to do control backspace, I want to leave this vert here on the edge, just so it doesn't change the shape. It's going to only be a little bit, but just to be on the safe side, I'm just going to remove that. Okay, that'll take the edges out, but it's going to leave the verts. Okay, so we're going to leave the outside vert there, but I am going to select these ones here. We'll leave the one on that side as well, and we'll just hit remove again to get rid of those. Okay, and let's loop this edge, and we'll move that over a little bit, lined up with the center of our circle, like so. Also make sure that it's straight, so we'll make planar on X, right about there. And I think we can actually get rid of this edge maybe right here. Alright, so I'm going to loop that, I'm going to do the same thing, I'm going to leave the vert at the top, so we'll remove, and then take out the verts separately. Okay, just make sure you get those out of there. Okay, let's actually get rid of this edge for now. Alright, we're going to do the same thing there. I'm just going to make it as simple as we can here. If you get too many edges in there, you're going to run into problems, so we can actually just use these two to create the edges around the circle. We don't need to add extra ones. And just to be on the safe side, I'm going to add one more right here. Just one edge in that section. Just going to move that over a bit here. Okay, I just want to have these edges here kind of straight rather than being angled when we move these verts up and down, just to make sure we don't have any smoothing issues on this corner. Alright, so we'll leave that there, and I'm going to grab these verts right here, these three. I'm going to move that up just above the circle, the same with the bottom ones. Just move them down. Okay, and that'll give us the edge flow that we need to cut this into quads. Same with around the small circle here. Okay, and we'll obviously have some n-gons on the corners here. We might clean those up later. I'm not sure if it'll give us a problem when we smooth. It probably won't, but if it does, we can clean it up later on. Alright, so now we'll just cut in the holes quick. Okay, so same process again. And this one as well. Alright, just make sure you get that vert there. And just trace it. Okay, we'll turn off cut, turn off snaps, hit H, delete the two circles, and we'll just check the welds here. Alright, so we're going to grab pretty much all these and do a 0.1 weld. Okay, we had a couple that missed. Alright, so just weld those up, and then we'll quad up the corners. Okay. And once again, we want these to be pretty sharp. Alright, so I'm just going to do these four here. We'll do an inset, take that way down, do it twice, and okay, and the same thing over here. Inset that one twice. Slightly less amount. Alright, so for the small hole here, we'll just punch this right in. Okay, so just extrude that back again. And we'll do something maybe a little bit more, maybe around -5, and we'll delete those polygons out. We'll also support the edge again. Okay, and on the circle here, we'll reselect the 4 polygons, and we want to bevel this in, I think, a little bit, but I think we want to extrude it in and then bevel it. Okay, so I'm going to do another extrude here, and I'm just going to take that out a little bit more. maybe like that, and then we'll do a bevel on it. Okay, we want that to be a negative amount. Okay, we'll check this out in the back view. Let's bring it down a little bit more. And we'll punch it in a little bit more as well. Okay, I think something like that's more what we're looking for. So hit OK to that, and then we'll extrude it again. And we'll just push this right in for now. Alright, we'll delete those off. And we'll support this as well. Okay, you can chamfer down the edges if you want, or you can just do it with the loops. Alright, so 2 segments here. Pitch them out. Same thing on the middle section. And on the back. That looks pretty good, so we'll just take out that back loop once again. And I think we should be okay here for the holes. Let's see how it looks when it's smooth. Alright, so turbo smooth, duration is a nice line. Okay, we just want to make sure we don't have any artifacting from those n-gons up on the corner. Okay, it looks like everything's pretty good. Great, let's go back into the back view, turn off our turbo smooth for a second. And we'll just connect up a couple of the verts at the bottom here so that we can break up these polygons a little bit more. Alright, so back down to vertex, and we'll just cut a couple of them across. Alright, so I'm just going to connect these up. Okay, that'll give us quads on this side, and we'll connect a couple of these ones up to the top ones. Okay, now it'll give us quads on this corner as well as this top corner. Now we have one n-gon there. And we might as well cut this across to get quads here. We have 2 n-gons up at the top. They don't seem to be giving us any problems. If you want to terminate them, you can by just cutting it down and over. What the hell? Let's just do it. I'm just going to cut down like this, over here, and then up. Okay, and then we'll just connect up those verts maybe to the corners, like this. Okay, that's definitely not the best looking mesh, but it shouldn't give us any errors. Just make sure that those are all welded. Okay, you can do something similar around the corner if you want to. I don't really think it's a big deal. But let's just do it just for the sake. Just gonna add a loop in here with 1 segment. Make that planar on Y. Slide it down a bit. And we'll just connect this across to here and down to this corner vert. And we'll have a triangle there, but that's no big deal. Okay, so let's test smooth it one more time. Just make sure everything's okay still. And we look pretty good. Alright, and we actually forgot to make a copy of this before we cut all that detail in. So let's just maybe do that now. Just gotta turn off turbo smooth here for a second, and I'm gonna add a couple more segments across the center just to break up these long polygons before we make our copy. Alright, so we'll just do maybe like 5 segments, no pinch, no slide. And if you want to, you can just loop each of these edges and make them planar on Y. Okay, and now we'll just copy this off to the side. And we'll do it as a copy, and we'll call it back glass. Okay, and we can hide this one and just move this one back over by zeroing out the x-axis. Okay, and on the back we have obviously the camera lens is cut in, but the flash isn't. It's underneath the glass, so we can just pretty much take this hole right out of here. Alright, so the best way to do this is just to go down into polygon, grab the polys around that hole, delete them out, cap it, and just connect it up. Okay, we could obviously get rid of probably a couple of extra loops here that we don't need now that that's gone. Probably these two here. Alright, so you can control backspace those out if you want. It's not really going to affect anything. And we don't need to change anything around here. And I don't think we really need to clean it up that much more, so I think we'll leave it like that. We might need to change the hole here. Obviously we don't want to bevel it in like that. So let's maybe just delete some of this stuff out. I'm going to grab this edge here, and we'll just grow this a little bit more. I'm just going to hold down control and use the loop arrows. We'll take it down to about this point, do a ring, control click polygon, and we'll just delete that out. Okay, and we have another piece that kind of like a frame that sits in here, so we don't really need to worry about it too much. I think I'll just take out this back support edge that we don't need now. Okay. Alright, so let's unhide all. And we'll just reposition this stuff. Smooth this one. Let me just change the color here so we can see something. Put that on there. We'll put our blue on the front glass. Okay, and we'll move the glass a little bit forward again in the left view, just a little bit. Okay, probably about halfway of that extrusion that we have in there. And we'll just check the front and see how much that's pulled in. Okay, that's also pretty much right in the center. And then we'll just grab our back inside piece there and just try to line it up a little bit better. I'm just going to move it slightly in. Okay, I just want to make sure it's clearing the back of that glass. Alright, so let's move it back a bit just behind that hole. Alright, so they're pretty much touching up here. Okay, and that looks pretty good. Okay, so they'll take care of the back. We just need to make the actual lens and the flash. Okay, so before we get to creating those pieces for the lens there, let's just make a couple of adjustments on the model. We do have that hole in the front there that's a little bit off to the right for some reason, and that's kind of bugging me, so I'm going to fix that just quick here. Alright, so let's go back to our back view and we'll switch to the front. And let's see, let's grab... Okay, let's grab the front glass as well as the front inside piece here. So just control click both those. We'll just hide unselected for a second. And we'll go back to the front view. And let's just adjust this. I'm going to go to wireframe F3 and actually let's get rid of that back part for a second. Let's just select the glass here. We'll hit Alt Q to go into isolation mode. Alright, and we're just a little bit off to the side here. Let's just turn off that turbo smooth for a second. Okay, now obviously this edge here is crooked and it should be straight like this one. I don't want to just move this over because it's going to stretch the hole and that's the proper size. We just need to slightly move the entire thing over to the left. Okay, it is lined up on the blueprints and I'm not sure exactly why that's off. I'm pretty much positive that the hole is actually centered on the real phone. So let's just take care of this quick. The first thing I'm going to do is just maybe grab a box here or a plane. And I'm just going to draw this out from the side here. Let's do it right about here, just to the outer edge. Okay, we're just going to use this as a guide so we can figure out the spacing. Alright, let's just convert that to double poly quickly so we can adjust the length. Alright, we'll go into vertex here. So to grab these verts and line them up right at the edge here. Let's actually just do it right about there, wherever that vert is. Come over to the other end here and just make sure this is lined up with the edge. Okay, now we're going to just shift drag and copy this over to the other side so we can see how much this is off. Just line it up with the left side of the glass there and hit OK. Alright, you can see we're way off here. Alright, so just make sure that's right on that edge as close as possible. Alright, now we'll go and grab the glass piece here. Let's go back to edit poly, grab the verts, and alright, you can see that center edge there is quite a bit off of the center of this piece. So let's maybe grab all these verts here, and let's just grab all of them actually for now. We'll do this in one shot and then we'll adjust it in a sec. Alright, so everything around that hole there. So move this over to the left and make sure you take off the edge constraint first. Alright, let's move that down and line up those edges with the edges of the two planes. Right about there. Alright, so just get this edge here on the edge of that plane and same over on this side. Okay, now we can actually delete the two planes out, we don't need them. You could also measure if you want to with the tape measure, but it's probably going to take just as long to do. Okay, so now we need to straighten out the center edge. Alright, so we'll go in here, grab these verts here, and we'll just bring those over and try to center them a bit. Let's just actually zero out the x-axis. Alright. Okay, so I think we're dead center now. Let's maybe get a vertex there and we'll just turn the turbo smooth back on. Alright, we'll exit isolation mode and we'll reselect the glass in behind there. Let's drop back down to edit poly on this one. Go into vertex and we'll grab the verts here. Let's also move the flash hole there, or the camera hole, with it, because we know the space between these parts, this edge and that is correct. Alright, so we'll grab all the pieces here. Alright, let's just maybe do it down to these ones here. I'm just going to deselect those ones so we just have the verts up to here, select it. And we'll turn on show end result here so we can see it turbo smooth. And we'll just simply move this over until it line up with the edge in behind there. Okay, just like that. Alright, so just line up that outer edge of this hole with the outer edge of the one behind. Okay, turn that off. Alright, that'll center our hole, so let's get rid of that back piece there, the glass. Just select and hide that for a second, and then we'll just figure out if we need to straighten some edges out here, which we do. Alright, so let's grab these center ones right here, and right click on the X spinner. Okay, and if you want to, you can just straighten these out a little bit if you really want to be finicky about it. It really doesn't matter, but if you want to pull those over and just kind of get the edge going straight there, you can do that. Okay, let's center those ones on the X as well. Alright, and just to make this look a little cleaner, I'm just going to grab the verts down here, all the way down to the bottom. And because this is flat here at the bottom, we can actually just slide this right over until we straighten this edge out. Alright, so let's bring it over like that. Okay, I'm not going to slide these around just because I don't want to affect any of the verts down here around this hole. Okay, so I think we look pretty good. That should take care of the problem there. Alright, so turn back on turbo smooth. Let's go back into perspective here. We'll just unhide all. And we're going to have to obviously move that mesh over a little bit to the side to compensate for that, as well as the lens in the camera. Alright, so now we'll grab our mesh here. And let's just zero it out on the X. Alright, so it's nice and dead center. Come over here and we'll select the pieces that make up the camera. Let's actually hide this front piece for a second so we can see something. Grab those pieces again. And we'll just simply line up the center edge here with the center edge here. Alright, so just pull that over, right like that. Okay, and that should fix the front for us. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. Okay, there's a couple other things I'm gonna maybe actually adjust here.